Let's go! It is Monday. Thank you. You are far too kind. You could have been anywhere in the world, but I am so glad you are here with me, the Cowboys DLLS Podcast. We have some special guests today. We got three-time Super Bowl champion Nate Newton. We'll also have Will McClay, VP of Cowboys Personnel, calling in. This show is star-studded. You are so happy to be here. This show starts now. What's going on, man? We are back another week, another day of the DLLS Cowboys Podcast. We are still short a couple members. Jeff, he's still vacationing. And Joe, while we love Joe and he claims to be part Mexican, he just wasn't black enough to join today's show. We keep it in. We were the BET last week. We HBCU black today.
That's right.
We blacker than black today. Yeah. We got special guests in the house. We'll have some great call-ins today. We're going to discuss a gambit of things Cowboy related, but you know how we like to start the show. I am Salt and Pepper Poppy, Jesse Holley.
Oh, Jesse Holley went 77 yards. It must be a reality show.
Now, he said it earlier. He won't say it now. He won't agree to it now. The 60-year-old Pop.
Wow. Come on, Nate. Come on, Nate. You get it, Club Pop, baby. Run Nate to Club Pop.
Nate comes through Pop. And we have our very special guest in the house today, three-time Super Bowl champion, six-time Pro Bowler, two-time All-Pro, HBCU Black Football Hall of Famer, our dog. I first met him as the Big Turk. A long time ago.
Wow, you was cutting people?
Yes, oh yeah, yes. He was coming to snatch him. He's coming to snatch us up before for long, baby. The great Nate Newton.
How y'all doing, man? Just glad to be
put
here.
Nate in Club Pop.
Put Nate in Club Pop. Nate, you in Club Pop. Hey.
I tell you what, I ain't gonna move though, man. That's the last club I did with.
We got a club. Listen, we got the boom boom. We got the VIP.
We got the VIP,
we
man.
We got bottle service. We got some bottle girls.
We got whatever you need,
we
man.
We
got whatever you need in the VIP,
I'm barely hanging in there with my woman now, y'all. Don't do that to me.
Man, Nate, thank you so much for joining us, man. We appreciate you. You know, we all go way back. Yeah. You go way back. But just, man, we're so thankful to have you in studio today, man. You know how we get down, man. This the boys. We hanging out. This ain't.
Sir.
I know that we gotta be professional sometimes, but this the fellas.
Yeah.
So we gonna kick it like it's just the fellas, and we haven't gotten a chance to talk to you in regards of what the Cowboys have done this offseason. We know that they came and they fired Michael from Pittsburgh.
Yes, they did.
They let Michael from Pittsburgh go, and they went in-house. Michael McCarthy. They went in-house, hired Brian Schottenheimer, made him the new head coach, and then we got into this thing about, all right, what are the Cowboys going to do this offseason, right? We've heard so many times all in and this and that and so forth, and so they kind of had a mundane free agency, didn't sign any big names, got some bodies that they needed to fill this thing, and then they got into the draft. And that's when things got a little interesting. And, you know, a lot of people were targeting guys like Tedero McMillan and Omarion Hampton, and they were hoping and praying that maybe Ashton Genty would fall to 12. But the Cowboys said, nope, we're going with an offensive lineman. We're going with a guard, Tyler Booker.
Yes.
And so I want to start there. For me, you played the position. You understand what it takes to play that position. You won a lot of games. I mean, you blocked for the all-time leading rusher in NFL history, which, by the way, I think that's going to be one record that does not get broken. Players don't play that. They don't play that long anymore. They don't run the ball as much as anymore. I think that's going to be one of those records that just will outlive everybody involved in it.
That's right. It will.
But Tyler Booker, the Cowboys go Tyler Booker with the first overall pick. What was your initial thought when they went trenches back-to-back years for the Cowboys in the draft?
I was so excited. I mean, me and you talked about it several times that we know what they should draft. That's an offense or defensive lineman. But we thought it would be a wide receiver, an outside chance of a running back. So when they doubled up for a second year getting an offensive lineman and backed that up with another defensive lineman, I was ecstatic. And I told you, I gave them, for drafting a lineman, an A+. I mean, if you can give an A+, I gave it to this Dallas Cowboys team because we know it is about glamour. With the Cowboys, it's about promotion. And me and you talked about, and Clarence, I'm sorry that you don't get a chance to be in a lot of our talk-abouts, but we talked about hope, giving a team hope. We got that from Micah Irvin. We talked to him, and he said, give hope. And I thought it would be a wide receiver because that is a person you can see is flamboyant. But they went with offensive lineman Tyler Booker. I'm excited. I give him an A+ on the draft. I haven't seen him play, so that, the soul snatcher. So I'll wait and see.
Well, the problem is that they took off his line with the first round last year.
Yes.
And we saw him play.
That's right.
How did he play?
He's not a soul snatcher.
I'm
searching him right now to see if he got a soul because what happened to this kid was.
And you're talking about Tyler Guyton.
Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma, by way of Baylor, former tight end. Who turned to a right tackle, who came into the league and got thrusted at a left tackle, which I think he didn't have enough reps at either position. That's right or left because he had a total of maybe 13 games at this position. And that was only in college. He comes into the pros trying to do 17, 18 games plus preseason, and he did not succeed at all. Mm-hmm. This kid was not physically ready. And he was not mentally ready, and he showed up because when you take a kid who's athletic enough and physical enough, I thought he was even strong enough last year to be successful, but he lacked the mental part of the game, the toughness that it takes to adjust from week to week and being the best player you can be. He did not do that. Right. My question for him coming, Jesse, Clarence, is whoever the offensive line coach is, he has to get in there and work with his kid mentally now. Right. He has to continue to talk to him firmly, but and I don't know how you talk to a person with firmness and be soft with him. I haven't mastered that, right. But he's gonna have to always be conscious of this kid that he lost it mentally, because you don't come into a season and everybody in the world know after 6 pass rushes, the next 4 are going to be inside rushes. He never figured that out.
Right.
That is not a physical thing because we saw him in training camp where his feet were phenomenal.
Right.
His hand placement was great. And I know everybody wasn't going 100 miles an hour, but that's a mental thing, man. When you – let me ask you, I ain't trying to play. You ever played in a competitive sport?
Okay. Hey, we going to fight. I'm already fighting with Jim. Don't do that. You're 5 sports. Don't do that. Don't do me like that.
I'm not the only one.
Don't do me like that,
Chad,
Nate.
I'm not the only one.
I'm
not the only one, man.
I used to run football players for money in college and take their money. I used to run athletes like y'all for money and take their money in the 40, okay?
But what we're
not going to do this.
Okay, what I'm saying, when you get on the level that we have reached and have excelled in, and you lose, well, I tell you what, no matter what level you on, if you lose confidence, that's almost 30% of your athletic ability.
Okay, my question is this. How can you have hope when you have this many questions at left tackle, your quarterback coming off injury? That's the most important offensive line position, they say.
It is.
Okay.
It's second to center.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, though, you're protecting your quarterback's blind side. You're admitting that you have questions about the left tackle.
Yes, I do.
And it has not been answered.
And the only way it can be answered is through reps, mentally and physically. That's the only way it can be answered. What Coach Osmosis mean to me?
Coach Osmosis.
Yeah.
Get it in your sleep.
Can you have enough practices where your team and all individuals practice? That is the only thing that this kid can because once you start having success within a new system, within a new offensive line coach, with a new offensive coordinator, how will you over time be successful? You have to start by step one, showing up to practice every day, working your techniques, taking care of the off-field stuff, and I'm talking about in the weight room, making sure you're strong enough, making sure your feet is is quick enough. Now you go out and you apply that to the field. How does that transfer with a new offensive line coach? Help you be that guy, and when you have enough reps to be confident and secure in what you're doing and how you're doing it.
So let me ask you this. When it comes to Tyler Guyton, how are we giving him this coaching staff? I'm not saying we, but as a coaching staff, as a football team, are they extending the leash, or are they choking up on that leash and saying, we can't afford to go trial and error all season long again?
It's called awesome riches. It's called awesome riches. If awesome riches has, ain't no if. When they go to compete, if Austin Richards, he made a jump from his rookie year, he made a bigger jump last year, and if he jumped just 20%, Tyler Guyton could be in trouble because the last coach don't know him. And what you're trying to do, the same thing, they gave Dak an ungodly amount of secure money. So you can't let him get hit 9 and 10 times like he was at the beginning of last season. Dak averaged getting hit 9 to 10 times. You can't do that. He just came off of a major injury. So this kid, depending on who Awesome Riches is, got to hurry up. His window of opportunity decreases in my point of view. It decreases. You have to be at practice. You can't be getting sick. You can't be getting nicked up. You're going to have to show mental toughness. You're going to have to show confidence in your skill set and what the coaches are trying to get to you.
Right. You know, for me, okay, we're going to get, okay, yeah, thank you. We're going to get him after the break. For me, it's about winning the Super Bowl. 3-time Super Bowl champ.
It's not about that.
It's not.
It's
3-time about Super Bowl champ.
It's
been
not.
30. It's been 30 years, Nate.
And it could be another 30 if you don't never get the organization going in the right way.
How surprised are you being a part of those dynasty teams that has been 30 years? And tell me why it's been so long.
It's been so long because you've not had a collection of coaches, players, and the amount of luck that it needs to marinate. You have not had the players, number one. You've not had the consistency with the coaches getting their scheme into these guys' head and the success that you need when you are doing this scheme.
Jason Garrett was here a long time.
He was here a long time, but his scheme did not work, and it did not always fit his players. And then it's a certain amount of luck that comes into winning Super Bowls. I promise you it's a certain amount of luck. If you don't have that ultimate quarterback, you're going to need a lot of luck.
All right, let's put a pin in that, and we'll get back to that. TC, let's break early so that we can get Will in, and that way we don't have him waiting too long. So we're gonna take a commercial break now. Come back from commercial, we'll have VP of Cowboys player personnel Will McClay joining the show with Nate Newton, Clarence Hill. I'm Jesse Holley. This is the DLLS Cowboys Podcast. We'll be back in a second. Let me tell you about my friends at Lucy. Now, Lucy's not my thing. This is Jeff's street, but Jeff's not here. He's in Portugal. He's doing what he's doing, and he probably has his Lucy pouches with him because you don't want to go to certain places and not follow their rules. So if he has his Lucy, he knows that it's 100% pure nicotine. It's always, always, always tobacco-free. Lucy breakers are nicotine pouches with an extra surprise. Each pouch holds a capsule that can be broken open to release extra flavor and hydration. And if I know Jeff, he's going to need some hydration because he's going to take a lot of drinks, whether that's in London or Portugal or whatever he's out there doing. Set yourself up with a subscription today and have Lucy delivered straight to your doorstep. You can choose your flavor. You can choose your strength. You can even have a small pouch on the Lucy's packet where you can just spit it right back in there. You don't have to litter. But level up your nicotine routine. Go to lucy.co, DLLS, and get 20% off your first order. Always remember, Lucy is a product for adults and adults only of legal age, and every order is age verified. This product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. My friends at Sleepers. Now, hockey's going on. NBA finals are going on. Well, NBA semifinals are going on. Football will be back before you know it. It is the best fantasy league platform out there. Put your ball knowledge to the test by picking up whether your favorites or least favorite players will have more or less than their projected stats each week. This week, I'll be looking at a little bit of stars when they get in there. Miko. I like a little Miko. Not Nico. I know people don't like Nico, but I like me a little bit of Nico. If you think you have what it takes, new users can download the Sleeper app and use and enter the code DLS Boys and get a chance to get $50 off a $5 entry. Head on over and download the app Sleepers, where the game is happening. All right, we got my boy Nate Newton in the house. Of course, Clarence Hill is here, Jesse Holley is here, and now we are privied to be joined by a very even special, and not as special as Nate.
Yes, yeah, that's my boy.
Yeah,
that's my boy.
The man with the plan, Vice President of Player Personnel, Will McClay. Thank you, my brother, for joining the show today. How you doing today?
Good. Appreciate being on, and I am nowhere near the man that Big Nate is.
Yeah, you double down. I love you, Will. You double down in that draft. I love you.
You know, I've had a chance to be a part of this team and speak to you, Will, on a number of different occasions, both professionally and personally, man. And, you know, I always had this question. I think this is a perfect time to ask it. For me, it's kind of almost a emotional calibrator. You spend an inordinate amount of time researching and traveling and doing all the work, you and your staff, to get these players to the Cowboys. And I remember one day we had a conversation. You were talking to a bunch of guys. We're at practice on the sideline. We're in between drills. And you said, my job is to replace you. Emotionally, how do you recalibrate yourself after, you know, you're high-fiving in the war room, you got the guy that you wanted, the player is here, and then you have to put that to the side and get back to work to go, well, I got to go find the next Nate Newton. I got to go find the next Dak Prescott. I have to go find the next. How do you emotionally recalibrate yourself each go around? Because the draft is happening every single year, and your job depends on bringing top quality players to the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't think there's any recalibration needed. The main objective is to do and hold up the trophies, and we haven't done that. And so if that remains the objective and you're very clear about that, the emotions are cut down a little bit. Hey, if you don't get the job done, our job is to replace you. And then that's just kind of how you have to see it, and you have to go about it.
Well, how you doing, man? I appreciate you coming on. Real quick, before we get into the details of the offseason and the draft, you've been in demand. People are talking about you going to the job, being in the gym. Why is this position right for you? And why is it, you know, what do you like about being here? And also talk about the expanded role of being part of the coaching process and stuff like that. Why that was important to you?
You know, being here, it started off with, wanting to see my son grow up in the same area. When I was coaching, you move around a lot. And so being able to be a part of the organization and stay with it for a long time that way, that started it. And then being in the role and then being charged with trying to do my part and my department's part in winning the Super Bowl. So when you get that close and you have a voice in it, we all work for somebody. Just within my role, I understand what it is and the value of that. And I'm excited to be here just for an opportunity to win, man. If you win here, growing up in Houston, knowing that if you win in Dallas, you can write your own ticket and still driven to do that.
Well, when it comes to the draft and you have to go from coach to coach every single year, well, not every single year, but every time there's a coaching change, just kind of give a little bit of behind the scenes of how does that conversation happen? When Brian Schottenheimer is the new head coach, what is the conversation between he and you about what the approach is for the draft this upcoming year?
I think every year it's about getting together with, we have a collective approach. It's getting together with the head coach, with Gary and Steven, and the family, and then getting together with our crew and saying what we need, what we're looking for, what we're missing. So it's the collective process in it. But I think that getting with the coach, every coach has a scheme. Every coach is looking for, a particular type of player, a nuance and this and that. But we're all looking for good football players. So the quicker you get on the same page, the quicker that they understand that the quality of the product that you're giving them. Like this year's draft is different than next year's draft or the previous year's draft, and talking about how you see players fitting and being on the same page with that. That's the big key in all of this, because again, every team has a bunch of different scouts and the coaches saying what they want. It's getting on the same page and figuring out what fits and how it does fit.
Brother Will, this is a question I want to ask you, man. It's been on my mind. How close do y'all stay to y'all board during a draft? Do need supersedes that sometime, or are y'all strict about and real disciplined about staying with who's the best player on your board?
The draft, it's a combination. You have a draft, you're trying to fill needs that you have, and then there's also the best player available. Well, you have to keep those things in mind, and your board is set up where you value players, and those players have a value from high to low, and then there's the positions that you need. It's equated in there, and so you think about it, and it's kind of a match. You're going through it now. If I'm at a point in the draft where the best player available is a running back, and we have drafted one or we have spent money. So you start to figure out how to manipulate the board. Not only do you talk about what's on the board, you try and strategize about how do you get what you need within the right value. That's the mastery of the draft process, is figuring out not only the quality of the players, but how many are of quality that you can fill those needs. So it's a combination.
Do you, as your position, do you have to stand on the table and say, "Look at here, Mr. Jones, this is who we need," or you just you never get on that table?
No, we get on the table. And I think that's the beautiful part about our process. Everybody has a voice, and you get to stand on the table for what you believe in. And that's taken into account all of the historical part about the game, also about what you need on this team, but you can't compromise that. And it's kind of a mix in between the two. That's why all of the voices and the things within our system, and Jerry listens to it before he makes a decision, because Jerry is the ultimate decision maker, but he's listening to the information that we give him and the passion that you do it and the success that we have doing it.
We got a lot of players. You guys have had a lot of players. Very busy this offseason. You've been burning the candle at both ends. You talking about the offseason, free agency, the draft, the trade, guys you picked up. They all like your kids. Is there one that you say, I can't wait to see him on the field? Is there one of these pickups, obviously was the draft free agency, that you can't wait to see on the field?
No, I'd hate to put that pressure on myself as a prognosticator and on the player, putting that pressure on them, because, they're going to come into an environment and everybody's going to have an opportunity to gain their shine. At the end of the day, unique part about this is what we're trying to build is a team with competition. At the end of the day, you got a bunch of names. Those names mean nothing until they get on the field together. But you want to have a competitive team. What last year it showed us is you lose 5 corners, 5 defensive ends, you're never one player away. So if we make it competitive and we go out there and the guys are willing to compete and it's fun and they buy into the culture and people buy in, now you got a shot. And I think that's what Shotty's brought to us. And I think guys believing in it and realizing that window gets closer and closer with the talent that we have. It gets closer to closing. So it's time to figure this thing out.
Well, George Pickens certainly is the big headline over the last couple of weeks. Really, you could say the headline of the offseason, headline of last several off seasons, considering, how you guys have traditionally gone in adding players outside the draft. Why was he the right guy? Why is he the right fit? Just talk about the whole process with Pickens and what he's going to mean with CeeDee and Dak.
Well, I mean, we went into the offseason. We always go into the offseason with needs. We're going to look at it and say, okay, where were we short? What do we need? How do we make the team better? So another receiver was part of the conversation. Happy with what we had, but we always feel like we got to get better. Like we started the conversation with, my job is to replace you. Well, it's dog eat dog. It's competitive. So when we went through the process of looking at how we feel that, where there were a number of options in the draft, not as many as in normal years when you talk about receivers, as far as the depth of like a number one or a number two guy, a guy that you can develop quick, at least in the evaluation process of it. And then you start to go around and look at what's available from the trade market. So those conversations started, and we went through a number of different names. And then the Pickens thing came up. We did our research along with the other guys, and sometimes when you're buying property, it's not just what you got to spend; it's who's selling, and so we found a partner that was willing to. They were willing to move something that we were looking to gain, and the price fit, and we're excited about it because it adds another weapon. The more, football is a math problem, and the more that you can add that somebody's got to take away from, the more you get that equation in your favor.
How much homework you doing off the field stuff, and that wasn't a big deal? I mean, ultimately, it wasn't a deal breaker for you.
No, I mean, we looked at it, and every player that we go through, you go through the number of different steps to find out who they are, not only on the field but off the field. And you talk to a number of different people, and we gathered all that information, and we did something that we're comfortable with. At the end of the day, it's a 24-year-old young man that's continuing to grow, and they have to be put in situations to help them grow. And hopefully, we can continue to help him grow, and he can help our football team grow with not only his ability but who he is as a man. And we're going to try and help him do that.
Well, a lot of what the Cowboys have on the field is on the shoulders of you and your staff. And I know that it can be stressful, it can be strenuous, and you can kind of be a very tense time. But what does Will McClay do for fun? What do you do to relax? What do you do when you get away from football? What are some things that, outside of the building? Because as players, it's working in the building. You got to find that other part of the life that says, yeah, I do this for a living, but this brings me joy.
Well, I love what I do. I do this for a living. It brings me joy. I love doing this. Is why I'm still here. But love to go out and fish. I'm a music man. Love my different genres of music. I'm an old school hip hop head. So if any of you want to challenge me, Clarence, I got some stuff for you. But
Right.
And I love to read, man. I got a bunch of different books that I like to dive into and kind of find out about things or to get away. So that's kind of that's my opportunity to get away.
One thing fans want to know is, and listen, by and large, we've given you an A, B plus, A offseason. What you did in offseason, we did certainly this George Pickens thing. One question most fans have, we got a lot of people in the chat. Tell me what you've done and how you think you guys have done to improve against the run, which has been a bugaboo for the last couple of years. Certainly, you brought in Solomon Thomas and you added some DTs late, but just tell me why this team will be better against the run this year.
Believing in the coaching staff and what they're doing and what they stress. You achieve what you emphasize. Being around Flus and knowing what he's done defensively in his different stops and watching how he's evolved, watching the coaching staff and the principles they're going to put in and how they're going to coach it and how they're going to teach it and what's going to be emphasized, feeling very strong about that. And then bringing in athletes. At the end of the day, you got to have athletes. You bring in athletes, they have to execute the plan. They got to do it at a high level, and they have to be held accountable doing it. And so I think that just when you mix all those together, you right now we're talking about it, and it has to be put into practice. But don't talk about it, be about it. But I'm excited about the way that guys are putting things together, the staff, the way the players are buying into it. That's the key right now. I mean, again, everybody's got all these plans and promises, and who buys in and follows through the whole time throughout the whole season.
Okay, real quickly, we all talk about the first round pick. Everybody loves Tyler Booker now. Now there's questions about the previous 2 first round picks and Mozzie and Tyler Guyton. Why will those guys be better this year? Why? Start with Tyler Guyton, please.
Tyler Guyton is, when you come into a situation where you played a right tackle in college, you move over to the left side. We think that it is a transition that is easy. It was easy for him athletically, but the number of athletes that you face and what you do and the challenges you face coming into your first year. Hey, I remember most of us as rookies or as our first time doing a job. The second year we got better. The third year we got better if it was important to us. I think it's important to the young man. I think with new coaching and new style, he's gonna get better. If you think about his first game, he went from playing at University of Oklahoma on the right side to playing against Myles Garrett and the Cleveland Browns, his first game of his pro career on the other side. So I expect him to grow up and to continue to get better. And then with Mozzie, it's a continued development into the position. The physical abilities there. Some people, it takes them an extended amount of time. It all depends on, some people it takes them a short amount of time. Some people it takes a little bit longer. And really what they have is 4 years, 4 to 5 years in that first contract. And we got to see that value come out of them. And time's running short on guys, and guys realize that. And again, my job is to replace you, and we're continuing to try and find guys. And if we talked about the replacement and competition, hey, if you stand up to competition, it's going to be a competitive camp, and the cream will rise to the top.
Man, we thank you so much, Will. You're irreplaceable. We appreciate you so much, man. We thank you for joining the show today, man. And yeah, man, keep doing it, brother. We'll keep watching, man, and we appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Double down.
Rapid Light Records, man. Houston.
Hey, man, you're talking my lane right now, so don't even. We'll hit some Dallas stuff a little bit later.
All right. Thank you, man.
Will McClay, Vice President of Player Personnel for the Dallas Cowboys. Man, that was good. That was some good questions right there. Thank you for Will for joining us. All right, man, we'll be right back. DLLS Cowboys Podcast. Stay right here with us. Hit that like button, man. Hit that like button, subscribe button, man. We'll be right back. DLLS Cowboys Podcast. Mando. If you got some sweaty balls, Mando is the place that you need to go. Now we can say, we can say that on this. We can say that on this. This is part of the read right here. Nate looking at it like, what? He said ball. That's right. Mando will get you right. And if you're asking yourself the question about, all right, I've never heard of Mando before. What should I do? What do they have? Mando has a great starter pack. It is perfect for the new customers. It comes with a solid stick of deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice, like a mini body wash or deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And as a special offer to the listeners, new customers get $5 off a starters pack with exclusive code. All you got to do is go over to shopmando.com. Shopmando.com. Use the promo code DLLS and get $5 off your first starter pack. And while you're out and about watching these games, this is the time you got to get out the house, man. You got to get out the house. And if you're out there, you're a little sweaty, put that Mando on. It helps you keep the cool down. But while you're out there, make sure you download the Game Time app. What I love about the Game Time app is this. Sometimes you want to know, all right, I want to go to this game. I want to see a Stars game. I want to see a Cowboys game. I want to see a Rangers game. But I don't know where I'm going to sit. I got to figure out where I'm going to sit. Well, you download the Game Time app. When you go to the seat, it gives you a visual of where you're going to sit. So you know exactly, you don't have any obstructed views. You know what side of the field that you're sitting on. You know exactly where you're going to do. And then when you get to the checkout line, if you go to those other sites, they tell you one price when you find the seat, and it's another price when you get to the checkout. Not with Game Time. The price is the price that you pay. So grab a friend, grab a relative, grab a son, a daughter, a spouse, whoever, and get out to this game. Download the Game Time app. What time is it? Game time.
Come on, Nate. We gonna keep Big Nate here. Yeah. We gonna hold him hostage.
One thing about Nate.
What the pastor say? Lock the door.
I said close the door.
Close the door. We close the door like the pastor said. We're not letting you out.
That's one thing about Nate, boy. Nate won't get up and walk out when he's ready.
Money. We need that super chat money.
We got some super chats. We got super chats. What we got right here? This is from Armand. It says, if y'all get a chance, ask Will. Well, we did. What we got done at, and that was a great question by Clarence. He asked that. Thank you for the super chat. Keep hitting that like button. We got 147. We got the great Nate Newton here. We got to
200 for Nate
Newton. We got to be over 200 for Big Nate, man. We can't be here slacking on our pimping, when Big Nate's in the house. you guys had a really good conversation before Will McClay, and I want to pick that back up and just talking about, and Will, he said some things in there that was pretty interesting,
right?
And he talked about we need guys to mature. It's time for guys to take that next step,
right?
And he said it very clearly without saying it directly,
right?
My job is to replace some folks,
right?
And so it's crap or get off the pot,
right?
And so for guys like Mozzie, for guys like Tyler Guyton, it's time to put up or shut up for those guys.
With Mozzie, yes, he a lot of people think he improved last year, but what he gave me last year is what I would look from a rookie defense. Like, I have different standards for different positions. I'm willing to go a little bit longer with Tyler Guyton, not so much as playing, but getting the reps, going against the nature of what we think offensive linemen should do, getting reps here and there, But Mozzie, it's more about a want to and a reaction. I mean, I'm asking you, brother, eat up that center. If you eat up the center and take advantage of the center, the guard has to help. It's nowhere in the world that I've played this position. Once you dominate a center, the guards have to help because that is the most important position to getting the quarterback the ball every snap. And if his mind ain't right, you can wreck this whole world. It's not that hard. You're not messing with a bunch of guys that's going to move on you. The left tackle has to deal with bulls with ballerina feet. You dealing with bulls that's just coming straight ahead at you the most of the time. It ain't a whole lot of lateral movement. I mean, now don't get me wrong, teams do move around a lot, but not at that nose guard position. Not at that center position. You have to be a dominant force up there, and it's time for Mozzie to do that. If he don't do that this year, yeah, you can look for him to be replaced during the season.
Yeah, I mean, that it's tougher to play left tackle than nose tackle. Let's be honest about that.
Yes, it is.
So you should give the left tackle a little more
leeway, but it's a dangerous leeway. You have to be real careful because it's a direct line to your quarterback, especially a quarterback that throws with the right hand.
What's crazy is I've been getting killed. I've been getting killed in there because I said the Cowboys weren't taking the guard. I know you want to take my offensive line.
No, wait. No.
I said they weren't taking the guard.
No.
They weren't taking the guard.
No, wait a second.
That's what I said.
No.
That's all I said.
See, like, he tried to make it sound like he was done wrong.
No, I'm not saying I was done wrong. You didn't let me finish.
He said on this show, and with authority and with force and definitive, the way that he said it, they're not
pounding the table. He's standing on the table.
He stood on it. He stood 10 toes down about it. Once we get for a very good reason.
Once we get rid of the emotions, I said the Cowboys weren't taking a guard.
That's right.
You wanted to take a guard.
Yes, I did.
But you didn't believe they would. You thought they were going to take a receiver.
No, I did not.
And they did take a guard. They looked for a receiver first, okay? They couldn't get Ted, so they took the guard, which was the best player on the board. Great decision. Happy for him. Great move. We love it. But I also think they had George Pickens in the back pocket.
Okay.
I think they knew they had George Pickens in the back pocket. They knew that we were going to do something else. We just weren't going to do what we did last year and let this draft go without getting a receiver.
So you didn't feel like Booker was their first pick?
He wasn't their first pick.
Ted
was their first pick.
This is his way of justifying.
I'm not justifying him.
This is how he justifies his whole thing.
This is a setup.
Just take the accountability and say I
was wrong. And I'm happy they took a guard, but I'm also happy because they had
Pickens in the pocket.
They had Pickens in their back pocket. We want, we're like, how could they go through this whole draft? We'll talk about beginning of offseason. We need a receiver. Okay, then you don't do nothing in free agency, really. Right. You go through the whole draft, you don't do nothing. They had to have something in their back pocket.
That's right.
Okay, Pickens was in their back pocket.
Pickens with all that back. Pickens was in their back.
With all that back. Well, they got him. They talked about him before the draft. They talked before the draft about getting him, and they got him after the draft. So, with all that being said, now the question is, and we're going to talk about it, roles. Pickens is the number one in his head, but CeeDee is the number one here. The great thing about DLS is we're growing.
Right.
Pickens and CeeDee were at Kyler Murray's softball game in Phoenix this weekend, and our people from Phoenix got a video of them talking about their roles.
Together for the first time. How's it feel, guys?
It feel good. I don't know what the other answer is. I'm happy, shit.
It's the first of many, man. We get used to it.
Co-number ones?
Oh, no, we both ones.
Yeah.
It ain't no A, B, none of that. It's one. You look over there, you see one. You look over here, you see another one. So do what you got to do with that.
Right now, I'm thinking about how I'm going to hit the home run, though.
Yeah,
See, I ain't really, you feel me? We trying to focus on how we going to dominate this softball game.
Every time we on the field, we trying to dominate together. So right now, we're not on the field for football.
CeeDee, you've been tight with Kyler for a long time. What's it mean to come out here and help him out with this great charity event?
Shit, it's a blessing in disguise, man. I'm grateful to be here. Obviously, grateful to have my man George here with me to soak up all this and enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Be here, be vibing, be where our feet are. As you said, man, I knew Kid One for a minute.
Guys, have a great game out there. Hit them long. Let's go.
I got you.
It's funny.
It better be funny.
It better be funny.
It better be funny.
You know, sometimes you have a scripted. Jerry Jones is good for this.
Yeah.
Sometimes Jerry will get on the radio, and no matter what question you ask him, he's going to tell you what he came to tell you. And when I hear that, the first thing when I hear that, and he goes, "Hey, you guys are code number one," and then all of a sudden, CeeDee goes, "No. Well, code number one is exactly what you just said you are, right? Code number ones means y'all both ones,
Right.
But in CeeDee's mind, he's had this prepared answer already.
Right.
So whatever question you were going to ask him, it was coming out of his mouth as, "Now we both number ones." But in my spirit and in my soul, I'm a receiver. Been it my whole life. We ain't never thinking that we anything. And CeeDee ain't never going, he might not say it publicly, but privately, I highly doubt he believed that we number one. CeeDee, in his heart of hearts, when he go home and he kick his shoes off and he lay back in his recliner, he's saying to himself, "Yeah, I'm happy to have George, but make no mistake about it, I'm alpha.
Yeah.
I'm the start of this thing. This is me first. Because you let 2 or 3 games go by, CeeDee ain't got no passes come his way. We're going to see if he keep that same energy of we number ones. Well, I highly doubt that.
Well, and I want you to address this because you've been in the locker room and you've been in the locker room. The contract says it. Jerry got mad at Amari because CeeDee was leading receiver and Amari was making all the money. Okay? You don't pay a guy the money, you pay CeeDee for him not to be number one to get all the balls. Get most of the balls. And Jerry talks about that. Why am I investing this kind of money in him and he's sharing the load? So the contract demand, CeeDee ain't got to say nothing. He just got to look at his direct deposit. His direct deposit say number one. Nate, I mean, it's a cash system. Whether you want to outside and believe it or not, the locker room, we all know where we stand based on our paycheck in the locker room. It all sounds good.
Ask Cincinnati.
Yeah.
They showed you who was their man.
Yeah.
And we said, and by the way, we will get you signed.
Yeah, but it's a caveat. You know, it sounds good public for the fans. We love each other. Everybody in the locker room know where they stand.
Yes, they
and how you treat it.
Yes.
Based on your salary.
On your salary.
Talk about it, Nate.
Yeah, because I remember Big E used to, talk directly to the offensive line coach, and he used to talk through Big E to me too. So I understand the thing about this right here, and I like what George Pickens can do because we've talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
Great bad ball catcher, can torque his body any type way, and got the ability to go 20 yards with the quickness. But the bottom line is this right here, man. This thing, and I hate to be frank, but I love it that I can be. Why is he not in Pittsburgh then? Why is he not sitting at Pittsburgh?
Because they didn't want to pay him. They signed DK Metcalf. They didn't want to pay him.
Oh, another number one just replaced the number one.
Yeah.
But son, come in here and catch as many balls as they'll throw to you, and can we fit you up under the salary cap? That is it.
Or go somewhere else and get paid.
Yeah, and get paid.
But that's the carrot for him.
Yeah.
The carrot for him to toe the line, do the right thing, because you're trying to get paid in the offseason.
Yes.
Whether it's here or somewhere else. You don't get paid if you act a fool like you did in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And you got to produce on the field, be a good boy out the field, so you can get that generational money in the offseason.
You know what?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna let that go, man, because generational money to me, if you give me $1 million a year, I'm good.
That's money crazy now. Man, when DL signed that $13 million signing bonus back in the day, that was the biggest thing ever. That was in 95, $13 million signing bonus. That's chump change.
Give me $1 million a year and I'm good.
Yeah.
Generation.
Right, let's get to our last break. You here, so you might as well stay for the last 15 minutes. We already here.
That's what he told me a month ago. Hey man, we need you 15 minutes.
Bro, you already here, so you might as well stay for the last. We'll talk about OTAs. We'll talk about will Micah hold out or will Micah hold in? What will he do in the OTAs? He does not have his contract right now. Stay right here with us. This is the DLLS Cowboys Podcast.
Brothers do to brothers.
Is that what we do? You drove all the way down here.
Are you a diehard? You should be. You should be. Listen, look at us. Look at what we do. As we grow, you grow. Be a part of this family. Be a part of the ascension of DLLS. And if you're not just a Cowboy fan, you say, hey, I'm a Stars fan too. Don't worry. We got you covered in there as well with Stars coverage. And you're saying, well, I'm a Cowboy, Stars, and a Rangers fan. Well, great. We got you covered over there too. And if you happen to be a Mavs fan, we got you covered there too. And by the way, if you are a diehard, then you will know right after our show, the Mavs show is coming on, and guess who they have in studio today? The head coach, Jason Kidd, will be in studio with the Mavs show. See, this is what we're doing here at DLLS. All you got to do is go to alldlls.com and become a member. It's like $4 a month. Like that's chump change. You go to those expensive coffee houses and you get a soda pop or whatever it is. Well, I don't know about strip clubs. I mean, I don't think you can get nothing for $4 in a strip club. You can't even get in here for $4 at a strip club. But
how you know?
That's what I heard.
Okay,
that's what I heard. I know people that go to those teammates. Places. Yeah, my teammates. Become a diehard, man. And you get writing. You get $20 off, 20% off our events. I know our sales aren't going anymore, but if you become a diehard, you get a free t-shirt. That right there will cover half of your diehard thing right there. And then you get 20% off anything that we have in the merch store. So you can get more shirts. They got more designs that we have coming along the way. You will be in tune. You'll be in the Discord. You get all the premium readings that we have from our writers all across the board. And you will be the first to know when we open up our entries for all the things that we're going to be doing this Cowboy season. So head on over there right now, sign up to be a diehard, or just hit the QR code right there. That's right there. Hit that QR code right there and become a diehard. All right. OTA starting today? Today.
OTAs start today. It's the next phase in offseason program. They go to OTAs. They can do on-field work with the coach.
Right. The big question is, and I guess the contractual elephant in the room is, when will the Joneses pay Micah Parsons?
Uh-oh.
And Nate, you remember being in the locker room, and we don't get involved in, when you're in the locker room, you don't get involved in other folks' money and them not being there because of their money. You would like for your teammates to be there because you want this thing to go in a certain direction, but you also know that you hope that one day you come to a point in time where you now have a contract is up and they're looking to pay you. If you are Micah Parsons, if you were sitting in his seat, what is pending for him, do you show up to these off-season activities? Or do you go, hey, listen, man, let me show y'all my real worth and not even be here because y'all seem to be dragging y'all feet on payment?
Me personally, I don't need him to training camp, but I do not want him to miss a day of training camp. The OTAs, all this right here, running around in shorts, that don't impress me anymore. That is, I'm way beyond that. For who he is and the way they are building this defense for him, all he needs to be there is for training camp. He needs to be in training camp. Philadelphia desires him to be in training camp. The Eagles need him to be in training camp.
Why does the Cowboys take so long with these deals? For the stars, for Dak, for CeeDee, for DeMarcus Lawrence, for Dez, for you go all the way back, the big guys.
I can't figure it out.
The Emmett. Why did it take so long for these big deals? The guys that important foundational pieces, star pieces. Why they take so long to get these deals done?
I do not have an answer. Sorry, I do not.
But you know they're gonna get it done.
And they need to, for the sake of the NFL and what we're from the face coming into a Thursday game.
Thursday game.
the Eagles, we don't need to be, well, he's a weekend and got to get his legs up under him.
Right.
And got to fit this scheme and him to know all his responsibilities. We don't need to have that type of Michael Parsons. We need to have Michael Parsons there. This underwear Olympics they running around, I don't care.
Right.
May the 19th, Monday, May 19th, and they've been out. I don't care. But I do care when training camp comes. We need Michael Parsons. We need him there before training
camp. Why won't they call the agent?
They don't know who he is. They don't have an idea who he is.
They don't know who he is.
Jesse said he do.
He will when they're done. One of the positions in OTA that a lot of people, of course, OTAs and then mini camps and then training camp that people be looking at is running back. Right? You let Rico go and he went and signed a very minimal deal in Carolina. And then you bring in guys like Javonte Williams and you brought in Miles Sanders. And then you go and you draft in the 5th round, Jaden Blue. And I was thinking about this for the last couple of days. A lot of people, I know Clarence is going to jump in on this one. A lot of people have been putting a lot of eggs in the Jaden Blue basket on what he will be able to produce for the Cowboys. Is that a bit of a stretch for a 5th round pick, or will he be able to come in and be that combination part to what they're going to do with
I don't know much about Mr. Blue, but I'm going to ask you this one question, then can he catch?
Hell yeah.
If he can catch.
Hell yeah.
If he can catch, they're not asking a lot of that. Because we do not have that guy that can come out of the backfield that can catch and make things happen. Now, I hear he's legit with his movements, his explosiveness. If he can catch, there'll be packages there for him, and they'll be able to use him. But now, the other question is, there's such thing called is, can you block?
Yeah,
and so in third down, a lot of times you may have to block. Is he smart enough to capture that?
Well, the good news is he was trained by Tashard Choice.
Okay.
Who was a hard-nosed blocker. And he is a smaller guy. He's not a big back. He ain't a small back either. Yeah. He ain't due size. He's not afraid to stick his head in there. Okay. If you watch it, that's he's definitely a willing blocker. But he does bring I've said he's kind of like Tony Pollard early on. Right. He's a change of pace guy. He's going to give you the big play, going to get the juice out the backfield. Certainly the third down type of guy, catch the ball. Those are the thing is. And the problem with people putting all their eggs in the basket is understand that we're talking about a change of pace basket. No one's saying he's the primary back because that's not his role. That wasn't his role in college. Mm-hmm. That's not why the Cowboys drafted him. They didn't draft him to be the number one back.
Why do I get this thing that you and Jesse are always debating?
No, we're supposed to debate. It's a debate show. We're not supposed to agree.
It's a debate show. But sometimes it's all right to agree.
It is, but this is first of all,
I know.
Okay, there's a difference between conversation,
right,
and being disagreeable.
Right,
we're having a conversation about the team and about the player.
But I can tell. See, Jesse have a way of poking at you.
All right, listen, he a bully. He tried to be a bully. See, they're like you when you start that. Did you play mess? Okay, have you ever played? I played 5 sports. Damn it, I know damn Al Bundy either. Damn, I'm from Texas, from Schulenburg, Texas. 5 sports, Letterman. I did it all in the country. Okay, I'm a country boy. We did it all. Okay. Anyway, but no, Blue is not going to be an every down back. He is a change. They brought him for a role.
And I'm not saying that he is, but I'm saying is that
people are excited about the possibilities.
Right, like the possibilities. People are. I'm like, okay,
but I still think you need that main ingredient. That's why I keep talking about. Go get your boy from Cleveland. I mean, are we happy with the main?
You mean about Nick Chubb?
Yeah, I mean, are we? Because it's going to be thunder and lightning type situation. You're going to have whether it's Javonte Williams or one of those other guys who's going to be the starter, and then you're going to bring in Blue to do some of the niche stuff. Right. But why not throw Nick Chubb against the wall? You're not going to have to pay him. Bring him in here. Let's see what he got. You didn't do that. I'm sorry. You didn't do that with King Henry last year.
Oh, my God.
Don't bring that
You
up.
should have done that with King Henry last year.
Don't bring that up.
He would have taken less money. He lived in Dallas. Why not throw some stuff against the wall with Nick Chubb? What's wrong with that?
I hear you, brother. I mean,
I'm not gonna fight you, man.
I mean,
all that come from Jaden Blue. I mean,
he is coming off a significant injury.
That's why we're throwing against the wall. We're not paying him a lot. They ain't paying none of these backs a lot of money.
But I think sometimes, like, there's a special place that running backs have in your heart because when I grew up. Yeah.
OJ, Walter,
because
Earl, Tony,
you don't
keep
the
guys.
Same. Your energy for a guy like Ravel or a guy like Diggs coming off an ACL injury ain't the same energy for a guy like Nick Chubb.
No, that's not true. That's not true. It's all about the juice and the squeeze. It's all about the investment. Okay, you're asking those guys to come in and be at their best. I'm saying,
what you asking this guy?
Let's see what he got. I'm asking, let's see what he got. And that's basically what we doing with Miles Sanders. Let's see what he got. We ain't giving him no money. We're basically saying, let's see what Miles Sanders got. Let's see what Javonte Williams got. There's no investment in those guys. There's no investment for the future in those guys. Those are one-year deals.
But those guys aren't coming off injuries.
Javonte Williams is pretty much.
No, that's 2 years ago.
Okay, they're coming off not being great. Okay. Nick Chubb had some greatness in him. When he was as special, he was way more special than these guys. And I'm just saying, bring him in and throw it up against the wall. I'm not saying invest. I'm not saying there's no guarantees. That's my point. So since there's no guarantees with those guys, let's also see what he has. That's my energy. My energy is not.
He has not signed with anyone as of now.
Right.
So he can make it to that a little bit further into.
Yeah, I just hate to wait to training camp. Let's bring the guy in. I mean, we're gonna bring him in. I hate last year they waited till training camp to bring all these old defensive tackles in. You could have brought them in the spring.
That's a bad.
Let's not wait till training camp.
Yeah,
that's the problem with that. I'm trying to win now. I'm trying to win the Super Bowl now. I don't know what you're trying to do.
Bro, well, you ain't. Well,
I don't know what you're trying to do.
So you a Philly fan or something?
Nate said it.
Nate
said it.
I'm just saying.
Listen, Nate.
Who's the closest team right now? And they were 2 or 3 teams now that's close to winning the Super Bowl.
Matter.
We don't know what the Cowboys.
Maybe the luck will fall your way this year.
You think
maybe you won't drop a snap.
Maybe
you won't drop a snap. Maybe you won't get a pass taken away from you in Green Bay. We'll see. But I know one thing though. They don't hang division title banners. They didn't even hang NFC Championship banners at AT&T Stadium.
Okay.
Actually, they don't hang no banners at AT&T Stadium because they ain't won none since they've been there. All them banners were won at Texas Stadium.
Okay.
But the organization has a standard. And that is, Will brought it up. Our standard to win the Super Bowl. Our standard ain't to get just back to the playoffs. The standard, that's all people care about.
I just hope they ain't doing that, sitting in there with them players saying that. I hope they have a plan.
You have to win the division. You have to take it step by step. But the overall plan, this is the damn Dallas Cowboys. You got to win the plan to win the Super Bowl, Nate.
Yeah, them and the Steelers. Yeah,
it's not.
I guess when Jimmy came, Jimmy didn't talk like that, and we won 3 Super Bowls because he had a plan on how to build a team in a way to do it.
Y'all.
All right, thanks to Herschel Walker, we speed it up.
Let me get to these super chats right here. We got Jeremy Phillip with the super chat. It says Clarence. They ain't taking no guard hill. That is definitely his name.
They weren't trying to take a damn guard, okay?
Put on the t-shirt, Night 405. Can the team get any better without stars taking cuts? I don't know what that means.
I think he's talking about pay cuts.
No player should ever take a pay cut.
No. I think he's talking about pay cuts.
I'm always going to be playing. Nate, 30 seconds. One player that you feel needs to have the best season of their career for the Cowboys in order for them to be successful this year. Just one player, not named Dak Prescott.
Mozzie come out and be a dominant run stopper. I mean, first and second down, you cannot move the ball, and we stay up under 100 yards a game. We will have success.
All right, man. That was fun. Man, we appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate y'all, man. BTHB.
Yeah, it's the BETHB.
Y'all be kind to Big Newt.
Yeah, we appreciate you, man. You always come through fresh off the road.
So how far Harry Hines from you?
You know what?
All right, Jerry Jones. All right, Jerry Jones.
You gonna drive the rowdy van?
Yeah, man. Drive it like it's hot, man.
Drive the rowdy van and park it out front.
Harry Hines. Yes, sir.
I think Joe Hoyt will be back tomorrow. Jeff will be back at the end of the week. We thank you so much. Remember, hit the like button, subscribe, tell a friend that we are here every single day. We play the hits, baby. We play the hits at DLLS Podcast. We got Nate.
Listen, he should be in the Hall of Fame. He should be in the Ring of Honor. He is too humble, too appreciative to say that.
Thank you, Will.
I'm just telling you, he should be in the 6-time Super Bowl champ.
3-time Super Bowl champ.
6-time Pro Bowler. 3-time Super Bowl champ. An offensive lineman from the 90s should be in the Hall of Fame. That was the foundation of their success. Nate is the only one, the most decorated one. There's some more famous, like the most decorated one with 6 Pro Bowls, 3 Super Bowl champs. He should be in the Hall of Fame representing the 90s offensive line.
Thank you, Nate. We appreciate you. Thank you guys in the chat. Remember, as Jeff would say, be kind to everyone because you never know what anyone's going through. And like I always say, eliminate the contingencies. See you guys.
We all silly like the mayor.